Again, I think that most of us are so used to hearing mad stories about immigration and sex changes that many of us feel that nothing can surprise or dismay us any longer. Children being given drugs which will sterilize them, that kind of thing. As for the situation with all the goodies provided for immigrants, well, where do I start? Then along comes a news item which is so bizarre and so unfair to the people born and raised in this country that one has to examine it carefully to make sure that it is not some piece of nonsense dreamt up by the Lord knows who. Allow me to tell the story briefly, in a plain and unadorned fashion. A Filipino man came to live in Britain some years ago, although he has no right to remain here indefinitely. Nevertheless, like millions of other foreigners from around the globe, he was entitled to use our National Health Service. He used it to gain access to a gender identity clinic paid for by our taxes, and a psychiatrist there recommended that he should be castrated and his penis turned inside out like a peeled banana and then inserted into a specially made new cavity in his body. No, I'm not making that up. That's so-called gender reassignment surgery or sex change operation for those of us who are older and not quite so with it. This surgery is, as you can imagine, tremendously expensive and dangerous. So the hospital he was being seen by, the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital in London, arranged for him to have the operation done at a private hospital, the bill for which was paid by the NHS. This is at a time when I don't know how many people are waiting for vital surgery on their hips and knees to relieve pain and enable them to walk properly. Important, necessary surgery, in other words. The waiting lists and delays for such surgery, as well as that for conditions like cancer, is a national disgrace. And yet we are still seemingly able to pay for sex change operations on men who have no right to live permanently in our country. Anybody who does not see how iniquitous this is must be either slow-witted or so wedded to the mad ideology associated with the trans movement that they have abandoned all rational thought. For most of us, it is plainly wrong and monstrously unfair. It does rather seem that every day some new instance of this sort of madness comes to light. What I find strange is that nobody at any stage of the proceedings seemed to think there was anything out of the ordinary about this business. I mean, frankly, I'm not at all sure that castrating men with healthy genitals is something that the National Health Service should be doing anyway, regardless of the immigration status of the person concerned. The NHS is at the point of collapse already, and I would rather they were carrying out surgery which would save lives or improve the quality of life for people who are actually physically ill. As for immigrants without the right to remain here indefinitely, there may, I suppose, be a case to be made for allowing them to have emergency treatment or even routine treatment, things like antibiotics. But the idea that we should pay huge sums of money to cater for what is essentially a mad delusion that a man is really a woman does seem to me to be going a bit far. In the description to this video, I give a link to a news item about the case which I've been discussing.